Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the season is upon us. Game one is in the books. Thank you, everybody, for rocking with me all last season. If you did, at that time, I was able to run off numbers left and right. It was one of those situations where I had done it so many times to where I had a nice little rhythm about me. So we're going to try to get that going again, starting this off with day one. So, of course, the Lakers played the Golden State Warriors tonight, and I felt like the Golden State Warriors left the door open for the Lakers a lot of the time. Even though they were doing what they need to do on the defensive end, even though they were hitting shots, I still felt like in the first half, particularly, they were doing just enough to leave us close enough, feeling as if we had an opportunity. You felt like, okay, we can maybe strike here and there, even though the distance was rather respectable. I think you have to first give credit to Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, and those guys, because ultimately, usually when it's a ring night, your team is not feeling like they're gonna necessarily have the focus most of the time. I'm used to my Laker team losing those games, and Golden State didn't have that issue. They came out with a certain level of focus and determination to not only celebrate their championship from last season, but also a victory tonight, and they did that. They took it to my Los Angeles Laker team, and even though they weren't shooting the best, they clamped us down defensively and ultimately did enough. And that's just what it was. They outclassed us in some areas and took advantage of 22 turnovers that my Los Angeles Lakers coughed up. And it was sad because at the half we had 11, and I said we were on pace for 22. I did not necessarily expect us to get 22, but yeah, we ended up getting 11 more to match. I think that you have to give credit to a few guys on our team that did put up some nice individual numbers. Russell Westbrook had a really good game in 31 minutes. I believe he had 10 boards. I think it was 14 points, several assists, 4 turnovers of his own. But you have to give credit to him for putting up the numbers. LeBron James had 31 and 14, I believe it was. 5 turnovers of his own, which we talked a lot about in that halftime video. But you want to see guys continue to put up numbers and ultimately contribute to what the teams are trying to do there. Anthony Davis, I like what I saw from him defensively at times, stealing the ball. I need to see more than 6 boards, though, AD. That's not going to be enough. But I did like what I saw defensively. And, of course, scoring the ball, I don't exactly remember what he gave us, but it was 20-something points, maybe 28. I don't remember. We'll get that rhythm going, as I said. But it ultimately was a solid night for AD, but just, you look at the plus minus and you see there was an issue. And I think the reason why ultimately came down to just him playing the center position and just not really being able to keep up with some of them bigs that they were throwing at him. You talk about Looney and Wiseman, Kuminga were constantly on the floor. And I just think it created a lot of issues. And plus, AD hasn't been out there. His conditioning is not where it needs to be because of the lower back issue that kept him out of the preseason games that he missed. And, it's going to take some time for guys to get used to the minutes that they're now going to be taking on the regular season. That's the issue with resting guys. It's like, okay, now they have to take on a different level of responsibility physically, and when that happens, the adjustment is going to take a few games or even weeks for some guys. So Patrick Beverly getting in foul trouble in the first half was really I think a bit of a detriment to what it is that we were doing because we were already undermanned with Schroeder and Bryant, and of course Brown not a part of the lineup. So when you consider what's going on there, and then a DMP from Damian Jones, we were just lacking in size out there, and you just cannot have that issue when you're going up against the Golden State Warriors. I thought Juan Toscano Anderson played pretty well with the minutes given. Winyan Gabriel played okay with the minutes given, but they weren't out there long enough to really help because we were having such shooting issues. So it was one of those things where we're looking for offense anywhere we can get it. Going to Lonnie Walker, and I thought he made some nice plays for others. Getting some good assists. I think he had 5 assists out there. Did some good things, but I understand that he's going to have to work his way into the equation. He's missed some games in the preseason too, so he's going to have to find his rhythm. And there were times out there where he had some head scratcher shot selection situations going on. He'd take a couple shots where I just look and scratch my head and don't really know where some of that came from. So we're going to have to work with him, Coach Azar, that is, and more or less just try to help him work toward his strengths and maybe shake off some of that. Some of the things that would otherwise knock off his focus, because that's ultimately what it is for young players. It's just maintaining 48 minutes of focus. I don't think that we utilized Austin Reeves properly tonight. I think in the first half we saw what it is that he could cater to the offense in playmaking and doing certain things down there, but I think we kind of left him in positions to be a designated shooter at times, catch and shoot situations. I just don't think that's his strength at all. Left him to be the last line of defense in certain situations where he was kind of getting cooked. He's a nice defensive player, and he's definitely going to have success getting stops here and there because he's going to be active, throws his body around, and a lot of that is going to it's just going to be made up in the hustle that he provides. But we have to let him play make. We have to let him play make. That is his greatest strength. It's what he can do best. We have to let him do it. I know a lot of times you'll think a player, oh, he can shoot. He looks like a shooter. No, stop stereotyping the guy. He's not a shooter. He's a playmaker. And he can rebound the ball. And when you allow him to have the ball in his hands, good things happen. Because what he does is start the break. He creates for himself. He can pull it off the rim just like Westbrook does, but of course not pressing at that velocity. But he will make decisions that ultimately will start your break. So he's a point guard by nature. I know that's what he wants to do, and I want to see us put him in positions to play make. He's a secondary playmaker to LeBron James, and if we utilize him that way, we'll get the most out of him. But if we use him like a regular shooting guard and expect him to get a couple jump shots here and there and all that nonsense, it's not going to work. That is not his game. So we got to learn. We got to get Darvin Ham to learn Austin Reeves and utilize him properly, and it will help our team dramatically. I didn't see enough Wenyen Gabriel tonight. 6 minutes for Wenyen Gabriel on a night like tonight, that's not going to help you. You need him more. You need what it is that he does on the floor more. So it's just little things that I saw. I know we're trying to showcase Russell Westbrook, so giving him 31 minutes is exactly what I would sign up for. We need him to look as good as he did tonight every night. And the only way that's going to happen is if he, too, gets opportunities to play make. It's just what's necessary right now. We got to let those two guys get their assists off. And now that I see Walker can also do some things playmaking, I just think we need to continue to incorporate passing into our overall situation, because that is ultimately where these guys are showing me they can shine. Interior scoring was definitely a strength tonight. 60 points in the paint. I'm sure Golden State is not pleased when they look at that on the stat sheet. There were a lot of things that they did well tonight, but stopping us from scoring inside was not one of them. So we need to pat ourselves on the back and continue to look at that as something we can utilize and build off of. 60 points in the paint, give that a clap. We can definitely be happy with that. But other than that, it wasn't a whole lot to really appreciate. We did match their rebounding total, so at least we're not getting beat on the boards. But, what is that to us when we're not winning? So I guess we need to continue to try to rebound better. I like that Braun contributed, 14. Brody got 11 of them. So if we can get more rebounding out of others, that would really help. And that's where I want to see us get. Just continue to as I stop in mid-sentence, I just realized that, Austin Reeves is going to just inherently help in that area. Putting him on the floor a little more, just in general, is going to help your rebounding. I know he's going to do that. There's sneaky ways to use Austin Reeves. It's not like I don't want him to play the two. It's just how he has to play the two. You just don't want him catching and shooting and getting mad at him for not hitting jump shots or, that kind of stuff. That's not his game, man. He's really is a setup guy, and hockey assist guy. You know what I mean? One of those type of players. So I think Darvin Ham will figure it out. But I just look at the box score and I look at how he was used tonight, and I just know, nah, we didn't get it right tonight. So yeah, man, I wonder. I wonder if the Lakers made a mistake waiving Jay Huff, because at the end of the day, I look at those 6 rebounds by Anthony Davis, and I just keep telling I tell everybody, he's not a center, man. He's not a center. He's tall and he's lanky, and he can definitely do work from the center position. But we just need to be able to dominate on the boards and in certain areas where it's just not his strength to do so. So I think we're leaning on him in a way that we have to. But as we see tonight, it didn't translate to a victory. And if you look at his plus minus, it was bad. In fact, very bad. And I think you will see it's directly catered to the fact that he was just down there playing center. So I'm not angry, you know what I mean? But you know, there is something to say for how bad the spread got at one point. We were down by 27 and we fought our way back. You know, to kind of make it a little more respectable. So there were moments at a time where I could say we showed heart. There were moments at a time where I could say we saw things and found things that worked. So that's encouraging. I think when they look at the film, they will see that. You know, Kendrick Nunn needs to be given a lot of credit. He came in and gave us a real nice scoring punch. I think he's going to earn some more minutes fighting with Walker for that. And you know, he definitely made a statement. But we just got to up our IQ. Even some of the plays that he made, you're sitting there scratching your head, just like with Walker. It's like, come on, guys. When your team is hurting, you need your mistakes to not be compounded with unforced turnovers and things of that nature. It was just a lot of stuff. I know Patrick Beverly was frustrated. He's going to have to play better, man. 1 for 5 and then getting in foul trouble. Just can't help your team that way. I did see some good things from him defensively, but, you know, he knows. He knows what he needs to do. He's got to contribute more, and I'm sure he will. And last but not least, we saw the young guys come in. Scottie Pippen, Max Christie, Cole Swider got some minutes in the fourth quarter. I'm not mad at them not getting more minutes necessarily at all, because, of course, traditionally you don't want to throw youngsters out there on a game like this, ring night and all that. You don't want to lean on young players. But what I can say is, I do think when it's all said and done, some of the things that those young players just naturally do were some of the things that maybe we could have used a little more of tonight. Just take away the fact that they're young players. I think we could have used a little more of what Cole brings to the table tonight, because even though he's going to break shots, he's going to rebound. He's going to force steals, and he's going to force the issue defensively in some areas. He's going to murk things up a little bit. And so I think using him would be something that you could try to do on a night like tonight when the score is getting out of hand. You know, little stuff that I think we can try to work into the equation to see. What else? It was something else that I wanted to share in that regard. But overall, you know, at the end of the day, the Lakers just are not that great of a shooting team, and I thought for who we are, I thought we improved a lot in the second quarter. You know, in the fourth quarter, I thought we did a lot of good things. We won the quarter. I think we scored like 38 points as a team there. So, you know, you don't see all bad there. You didn't see a situation where guys got so frustrated that they let the score get to 47 like they did against Sacramento in the preseason. We kept our head high. We kept trying. And I think that's why we can say good things about certain moments in this game. Looking at the other team, Wiseman is an impressive player. I thought he did some good things out there using his length. He's going to be an issue. Jonathan Kuminga does not shoot the three-point shot very well, but he does do a lot of things very well for them. I wonder if he actually fits in their overall situation. If I'm to cut a guy of their young core, he's probably the one I'm looking at. And I've mentioned that before. If they got to make a trade of some sort and I just got to shave off one of them, it probably is Kuminga for me personally. I just don't look at him as a warrior kind of guy. But that's just a whole nother conversation. Moody looked good out there. They leaned on their young fellas, and I think it helped them. Helped them a lot. Jordan Poole didn't have the greatest shooting night, but he still contributed in ways where they needed him to. So um, for him to have an off night, I don't think anybody's gonna remember it. Draymond Green was quiet but efficient in what it is he was trying to do. Small increments of stuff. I think he had like 5 rebounds, 5 assists, something like that. Some good stuff here and there. Kind of, like I said, a quiet night, even though it was a loud overall green suit that he wore and everything. And his presence was definitely felt. But you could just kind of see where they're really going to be leaning on the young guys. Looney had a good game tonight, and so that kind of thing, Klay Thompson's in shape, which does not bode well for the rest of the league. He's shooting, he looks great, his conditioning is where it needs to be, and I believe he had somewhere around 19 points or something like that. Just impossible when him and Wiggins are all stretching the floor the way that they're capable of. DiVincenzo hit a 3. I just think it's very difficult to beat the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry doesn't have to hit a million threes. He had an off night from behind the arc, really. I think he had, 4 of 13 or something like that. But it didn't matter because the rest of the team was able to do what they needed to do in that regard. So, just got to tip your hat to the Golden State Warriors, the NBA champions. I didn't watch the ring ceremony, to be honest with you guys, but I'm pretty sure I'll go back and check that out. And, they took care of business, man. I think my Los Angeles Lakers did some good things. I'm not going to sit here and say it's all bad. I think we got off to a bad start. I think we did some uncharacteristic things in the first quarter, particularly LeBron James and the turnovers and the bad shooting. I saw some sluggishness from some of our guys, bad decisions, head scratcher stuff. But when you consider going into the champs building on ring night and everything that's going against you, obviously we're lacking in certain talent in certain areas, and we're still trying to learn ourselves, obviously, with players in and out of the lineup. I think we put up an okay performance. There's a lot coming up against us in this one, and we got outclassed, but only moderately embarrassed, I guess you could say. Not hang your head, let's go home and cry embarrassed, but we know we need to do some things better, and we got a hat brought to us embarrassed, I guess you could say. So this could have went a lot worse. It looked like it was going to head in that direction in the third quarter, and you just have to look at the loss and learn from what you saw there. So hopefully we saw some good things that we could take and incorporate into what we're going to be doing next. Of course, we got the LA Clippers in our home opener on Thursday, and we know they're going to give us everything we can handle and a bit more than that. But as far as tonight's concerned, I think we're happy that it's over. I think we're happy it's over. I think Steph Curry made chopped liver out of us in some very, very key sequences that will be seen on SportsCenter a lot, including that step and under move that he did on Anthony Davis, made him look pretty bad. You like the highlight that Brody had where he was able to get above the rim and catch a lob. So there were some really nice plays made out there from our team. Of course, you'll see a bunch of stuff from Wiggins and Curry as they were dancing on us and all of that good stuff. But I think there's some things to take away, from AD and looking at how bad we were looking and how focused he appeared to be, and that wasn't so. I don't know. I don't know if others will see what I saw, but it just gets to a point where you have to ask, why are we down by 27 when Anthony Davis is on the floor? Like, you just don't understand how a player can be of his caliber and certain things even be possible while he's down there. And while I did see some good things when he was down there, like the steal that he had in the first quarter and the breakaway layup that he had in the first half, there were a lot of nice moves that he did. But it was also some stuff down there where you're sitting there like, bro, are you with us? It was a couple times, I think it was a situation where Brody might have been asking for a pick and AD might have been a step. So I'm like, are you with us, AD? So it's just about him finding his time and just meeting us there with that focus that you know I think he can kind of improve upon. I think, and it's one of those situations where you don't want to be frustrated because you want to buy to be himself. You know what I mean? But I just want a keen level of focus from AD because he's such an important player that we on our team, and he has to be playing at a high level at all times. So when he's a step slower, when he's not where he needs to be, uh, we can't overcome it. And I think while Braun was like that in the first half, you saw him get it together in the second half. And if you look at his numbers, he was an MVP candidate out the gate. So it's like, all right, we need to just find a way to get enough playing time together, man. Genie has talked about it, Braun, AD, everybody's mentioned it. But it's important this year, in this first couple of weeks, that these guys be on the floor and practice together, and of course in regular season right now, because they're being evaluated as a core. And while they have had a championship, we've also had some years that it didn't pan out. So we got this brand new coach, you know what I mean? And I think all of this is really exciting. But the question is, are we going forward with AD and Braun, or are we going to be looking to move on from AD and Braun, or are we going to be looking to move on from AD and keep Braun, which seems like a more reasonable thing when considering what the Lakers may do in regards to the core. So I know AD wants to play with Braun. Braun wants to play with AD. I believe that it can work when those guys are at a high, healthy, conditioning level. I don't love the pieces around them as of right now, although I know we can make some trades, as we've said, and we know what it is. We've discussed it a million times. We can get better. We're meant to make a trade. But what I'm worried about is our season's going to be over before we get a chance to make that trade. That's what I'm worried about. And while the presence of tanking is there, which kind of gives you a bit more of a cushion than normal seasons, if we're going to play poorly and not get off the ground, it ain't going to matter. We're still not going to be amongst the good teams. So I want to see the Lakers make quick organizational decisions. I like the fact that we did a DMP on Jones since he looked so terrible in the sack game. I think that needed to reflect in what we were trying to do tonight. But at the same time, we got to respect the fact that we didn't have enough size to go up against the Golden State Warriors as well. And when you tack on the fact that we had some other issues, shooting the ball particularly, consider the fact that we improved to 26% from shooting from behind the arc tonight. It's like improved to. That's how bad we were shooting the first half. So, yeah, we have too many holes to also have size issues as well. So, if you're not going to play Jones, fine. I'm good with that. But you got to give me more Juan. You got to give me more Winyan if you're going to play AD at the 5. I know that gives us spacing issues because those guys don't shoot like that. But the roster is what it is, man. The roster is what it is. I think I understand, you know what I mean, where we were building from. I've illustrated my understanding of how we got to this point with some of the players that we have and why we don't have the talent that we need. So I'm not going to play dumb right now. But it does become frustrating once you see it. We're just not really good as we need to be yet. And so hopefully the trades that we can make will help us become that. But if we're just looking at it from a realistic standpoint, it ain't looking good. This is not how you want to start. And it's okay to say that. So we've reached the Kobe minute, man. I'll leave it at that. Let's get this game out the way. We can burn the tape and hopefully play the young guys. Oh, shout out to Max Christie for hitting his first NBA three-point shot. I don't know how many people are going to make a huge deal out of this. Probably none, except for myself. But this is important, and I'll tell you why. Because he missed a lot of three-point shots, and that led to him being drafted to us. Couldn't hit a shot in Michigan, but he's profiled as a shooter. Max, you're 100% as a pro, brother. Keep up the good work. BDF 44, thank y'all for watching. I'm out.